Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Christina, and I am joined by a bunch of my awesome colleagues. And we're going to talk to you a little bit today about virtual events. And yeah, so feel free to start pouring questions into the Q&A. We've got all of the experts online that'll start responding, and Ashwin and I are going to kind of cherry pick some of the questions and talk about them a little bit more in detail, and also just really share with you all of the awesome features we have coming up in the next few months. So just to set a little bit of context, I've got this question quite a few times since people have watched the session. The question is, so we talk about Teams live events, and we talk about meetings, and now we talk about webinars. So what does this all mean? And I think just to set context, the short of it is, over the next few months, the Teams live events as we know them today and Teams meetings are going to come together. And what that means is we are going to have one unified stack, which will make what we hope will be a much simpler experience to set up and deliver an event. And we'll also give you more capabilities for customization, registration, and all of that. So it's not going to be a light switch. It's going to be over the next few months that we start to bring all of these capabilities to a single platform. So during that time, you are going to start seeing features light up in Teams meetings. So one of the first that you'll see is the option for hosting a meeting for up to 20,000 people. You're also going to begin seeing features like being able to mute everybody when they join and have them not unmute. You're going to see registration pages light up. And so as all of these things start to land in the next couple months, then we're going to focus at the top of next year on building in more advanced production capabilities and some kind of out-of-the-box templates that you have become accustomed to with the live events as they exist today. So hopefully that helps with kind of clarifying this a little bit. And feel free to put questions in the Q&A box as well if it doesn't. Ashwin, we're getting some questions in here. I'm going to start firing these off. Let's see, the first one. I see live events support captions in up to 6 languages, but while the caption languages are extensive, the speaker language is quite limited. Any plans to increase the speaker language range and also add the same capability to captions in normal meetings?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've been looking forward to that capability for a while now. Being able to have more speakers is absolutely important as we scale out this product. So you can look forward to some of the goodness of having more languages very soon. We'll be releasing that sometime soon, and we'll be increasing the number of languages that we have outside of the 3 that we support today. Including, as you see, the translations as well. We're looking into how we can increase the number of languages that we support. In part for meetings as well, we're going to try to maintain similar increases as well there in meetings.
Okay, and Ashwin, can we advise folks to stay close to the public roadmap to watch for updates on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see, some more questions. Will the new webinar registration and custom layout features be included in E5, or will they require an advanced communications SKU? The latter. So registration at least, and the ability to scale up to 20,000 will be part of the advanced communications SKU. Some of the new presenter layouts will just be in your e-plans, similar to some of the attendee layouts like Together Mode, if you've started using that, and some of the cool stuff like the dynamic screens. So yeah, so it's and if you'd like to learn more, I will, if somebody on the team could search for the advanced communications documentation page and drop a link in the Q&A chat for everybody, you can see a hit list of some of the features that we have coming to the advanced comms SKU. Let's see, we have more questions. Ashwin, do you want to read one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll put you on.
Put me on the spot there.
Put you on the spot. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. There's something
Okay.
going on with my window.
Okay. Well, I can ask another one while we're doing that. So question, will live meetings support VTC Cloud Video Interrupt endpoint for video content input? And I think the short answer to that is within meetings, as we're converging stacks, we are going to light up the ability to leverage RTMP and connect different sources for your encoders or other things that you're using. We also lit up the NDI integration recently for Teams meetings, so you can use that to broadcast to whatever endpoint you like. And then I would say that we are also looking at more out-of-the-box ways to stream to different endpoints, including YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we don't have timing on those now, but just to know that that is coming. And Ashwin, anything you would add to that?
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. One question that stood out, I think it's a softball for me at least, is how about ease of use of bringing in external presenters? I was hoping you would ask that. So let me start with the story of live events. Today, live events, we see the inner meeting as a sacred ground almost, of only those who are invited can come in. And the way that we identify invited is some sort of credentials that you bring in, so that we'll be able to identify you, authorize you, and get you into the meeting. The reason why we want to keep the inner meeting very sacred is because live events, at the end of the day, it's a high risk scenario. You don't want things to go wrong. You're going to have this once a year, once in 2 months, once in a month, right? So you want it to go off really well. So you don't want random people coming in, the lobby being bombarded with 50 different people. Maybe someone accidentally gave the presenter. So that's why we had that gate in front of the inner meeting. That's very different from Teams meetings today. So, but we are very 100% aware that as scenarios increase, we need to be able to bring in guest presenters in. So we're trying to balance safety and security with ease of use of bringing presenters in. So the days of you having to add them as a guest and bringing them in as a guest, I think those days are going to be gone soon. Please look out in the roadmap. Very soon we'll be adding something around external presenters being able to come in to live events. Again, I want to re-emphasize, we're trying to balance safety and security with ease of use. And it's going to be a scheduling time option for you to be able to select, hey, I want to bring in external presenters. And what that does is it just lifts that gate up and allows them to come in and present easily. They will be first put into the lobby and then they would be brought in.
Yeah, makes sense. A couple other questions, I think kind of around the value that we're adding into Teams meetings and the incremental value that we will continue to add into live events as we work to bring those two capabilities into one single unified experience. So question is, what will happen to producer view?
That's a great question. And I think as we bring the two in, and I think it's a great time for us to really look at what the core producer view does. If you piece apart the producer view, there's 3 different portions. One is you can see all your sources. Number 2 is I can queue up and preview a source. And number 3 is I can see what is live. And I could select layouts to put live. So we really just deconstructed the producer panel and really thought about it, and it gives us a good time to think about how do we make that even better. So as we make this transition, we won't bring exactly what you have right now over to Teams, but the core scenarios that you need to fulfill within the producer view that you have right now will be available to you within the Teams meeting paradigm.
Okay, and so I guess another follow-up question was, will the new webinar format have the ability to put custom pre-live slide up before the event starts?
That's a really good question. I think we're definitely thinking about those types of customizations, whether it is pre, during, or even post, where you can have certain things. We don't have timing on that yet, but I think we'll be looking into that as we further our webinar offering.
Mm-hmm. And there was also a question about, is there a resource that our customers can go to see the roadmap of the merging for Teams meetings and events? And I'll take a stab at answering that, and then I'll also put Ashwin back on the spot. So I think number one place you can always find up-to-date information is our public roadmap. Because engineering and marketing are both held accountable for making sure we have things listed there, we have the right timing. And that's really where, like I said, it's not necessarily going to be a light switch when you see all this stuff light up in meetings, but over the next few months, we'll slowly be adding different features until we build up to having some of the more advanced production options within meetings. So that said, I would say roadmap is number one. Number two, our documentation pages. And I think Ashwin and I have both talked about the need to kind of have a side-by-side feature and capability chart. And so that's something we'll add to the Teams documentation pages in the very near future. And so you can kind of do a side-by-side to figure out where the capabilities lie at the time that you need to do an event. And then Ashwin, any other resources that you think we should point to, or we can advise people to keep an eye on?
Yeah, I think those two are key. I think the roadmap, as you mentioned, we as a product team, engineering team, are really starting to leverage that as a core portion of our outreach with our customers. I think we are vastly starting to put features in that we know that are coming imminently, as well as ones that we want to ensure that customers know that we are working on. So that I would say that's the central place. And documentation, we're re-upping like the amount of documentation we do and the amount of I guess detail that are within the documentation as well. So yeah, please look out for both of those resources.
Another question came in asking about, so when we're thinking about roles as we converge live events and Teams meetings, in events you have roles that are organizer, producer, then the attendee role. So in meetings, as we are starting to add additional role, and capabilities for that, will you enable the option for multiple organizers, so multiple people can manage, if it's already been scheduled, can go in and make changes if needed?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think number one, roles as a concept, we're looking at very hard within the Teams meetings platform. Today you have presenter attendee. It does the job really well, but as you just mentioned, there's no ability for a co-organizer, a co-host. And in addition, as we start releasing a lot of these, I guess, features that only a small portion of users need to access within a meeting, such as an attendance report. There is a ask for another definitive role, like an organizer, within the meeting. So we're thinking about that. Again, I don't have timing for it, but it's coming to fruition that we need to really think about that as a whole, rather than just taking the current paradigm and continuing with that.
Okay, great. Question around branded lobby. So how will the branded lobby work? Is this only for meetings, or is it also for live events? So I can take a stab at answering that, and Ashwin will keep me honest as always.
Mm-hmm.
So 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 a lot of the new value that we're going to be adding for webinars and meetings is going to be added into the Teams meeting experience. And so, and again, I think, mainly because we're converging the live events as you know it today with meetings. And so instead of building value in two places, and while we're converging, we're putting it in one and converging the rest. So I guess the short answer is the branded lobby will be part of your Teams meeting experience. And as we add more features for control, muting people, enabling up to 20,000 to join, you'll be able to start leveraging those features that are you're typically accustomed to using with live events in meetings.
I want to touch a little bit on that as well, Christina. I think you beautifully explained it at the beginning, but as we look forward to this unification of sorts, I think our mind shift, something that Christina and I have been talking about a lot, needs to be made towards the key capabilities that you need within the scenarios that you're trying to achieve, whether it is high scale, 10,000, or really structured interaction, or producer capabilities. You need to deconstruct all those needs that you have and pick a product that does it. Live events today fulfills a lot of that because of the 10,000 person limit or the producer view. But as we bring those together, you will be able to do maybe a 200 person one-to-many style live event that you normally would have in the live events product within Teams meetings, because we give you those tools. We give you the one-to-many, we give you the producer capabilities all within meetings. But so that's how we're thinking about it. Scale out meetings, take it from 250 to 350 to 1,000 to beyond, and give you the tools to create that interactivity or lack of interactivity within the meeting. So I'm personally very excited about it because, again, it allows us to reap the benefits of both what we're building for meetings, as well as you can use that for live events, like the lobby, for example. The branded lobby, it's within the Teams meetings paradigm, but you can use it for your events as well in the future. So those are some of the small things that are benefits, end user benefits, and benefits to you as we march towards this unified platform.
So, and saw a couple questions around publishing to social platforms, and so just touch on that again really quickly, and let me know if I'm not capturing everything. Feel free to add more questions. So our first kind of venture into that was the advanced production that we've enabled with NDI. So NDI capabilities give you, you can separate out video feeds, and then you can push those to different endpoints. It could be social media, it could be your own, event website or something like that. And that's just with Teams meetings and NDI. The out-of-the-box streaming to sites like LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, that's coming. I don't think that's going to land this calendar year, but that's on our roadmap, and we will be creating ways to simplify that for customers so they don't have to leverage an NDI or any kind of advanced production. And Ashwin, anything else on that for streaming to social?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to amplify your message, and we understand that whether you want people to join within Teams or you want them to join in YouTube or your Facebook group that you have for your webinars. So I think, Christina, you hit it on the head. We're looking at various ways that you can do it, as well as for the producers. You might have a custom server, RTMP server, that you want to stream to. We're going to allow you to do that as well. So RTMP in, RTMP out, those are things that we're all thinking about. There's one question that I wanted to hit. It really goes with what I was saying before. The question is, are any of the changes in Teams meetings experience also change how you can do live events in Yammer? Amazing question. I think as we move forward, we're looking at live events across Microsoft 365 as unified. We are already M365 live events, and we're going to be even more unified. So your experience within Yammer is actually going to get net better. You could potentially not only have live events, but in the future you could potentially even have interactive ways to interact within Yammer as well, like AV interaction. So again, I think net it is going to be unchanged. But you will still be able to hold live events within Yammer.
Okay, great. Let's see. Question about audio for events. Music's another component for entry and breaks right now. So is there going to be a way to share to add music easier than just sharing system audio? And is there any recommendations you would have on doing that today?
Yeah, so great question. Music is one thing, video is another thing. So we're looking at both right now. Share system audio is a way for you to be able to share both by virtue of just sharing your screen and sharing a video or audio through screen. We're also looking at how we can natively upload and stream video and audio as well. I don't have timing for that. Those are great feedback items that we've heard in the past as well. In addition to that, like the recommendations of workarounds, there are various workarounds. I think we even did a session last year at Ignite for workarounds for this. So there are various software as well as hardware workarounds where you can pipe in audio into your computer and that acts as your system audio into your meeting or live event.
Great. All right. Thank you. There was a question about polling. So can you talk, Ashwin, a little bit about the polling experience in meetings and live events as they exist today?
Yeah, absolutely. So the polling experience today that that was announced, as well as we are looking forward to releasing, is really leveraging the meeting extensibility platform. Leveraging the goodness of various assets within Microsoft to be able to give us experience or build us experiences within Teams meetings. So Microsoft Forms is building a polling experience within the meeting extensibility platform for Teams meetings, which will scale out and be able to meet the needs for large meetings, Excel meetings as well. So you'll be able to have polls within your 1,000-person meetings. And as we move forward in this journey of unification, it will be able to meet your needs for your live events as well.
Cool. Another question came in. Are you looking to edit the Q&A most liked feature to put the most voted at the top of the list rather than at the bottom? Ashwin and I live and breathe meetings and live events, and so when we see some of these questions come in, it's like, yeah, we were just talking about that the other day. So you guys are awesome. You're asking all the right questions. I think I will start with saying that a lot of our focus right now is on the convergence of bringing events and meetings together to simplify into one experience. And so I will say that a lot of the value that we're going to be adding is going to be in the meetings versus what is going to become the legacy live events experience. But specific to Q&A, Ashwin, do you want to share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think Christina hit it right on the head. These are definitely questions top of our mind. We've been experiencing this firsthand as well, like even today, right now. So again, a lot of our core and biggest investments are going to be in meetings. But some of stuff like this, like small things where they're just usability fixes, we are looking into. It's not that, hey, live events is not something that we will invest in. We are, and I think it is a integral part of our ecosystem as well. So we are working on various ways, as I mentioned before, bringing in external presenters. very high value for us. There's various other things that we're looking into as well, and we're considering this. We're looking at various ways that we can get this in as well.
Awesome. There's a question about with webinar scenarios, will you be able to show more than one camera and video feed at a time? For example, showing all panelists on a virtual panel. I can take a swipe at that one. So in the experience that we're building in Teams meetings with some of the custom layouts that you might have seen earlier, we're looking at additional custom layouts, which would also involve things like together mode, where you could have, if the panelist scenario, you could show together mode with one of the new scenes where there's maybe 5 people sitting at a desk and then the content above them. So panelists and content on the screen at the same time. So the short answer is yes. We are thinking about different ways and different layouts and options that we'll be able to bring into the meeting experience that can be used for webinars. We got an NDI question. Oh man, Ashwin, I don't know the answer to this one. Let's test Ashwin and see if he does. I know his knowledge of Seahawks is very great, but what is your knowledge of NDI? NDI is still Windows only. When can we expect it on Mac?
When the Seahawks win the Super Bowl next. Hopefully that's soon. But just joking. That's a great question. I think, yeah, I would need to get back to everyone about this. Yeah. I don't want to misspeak. I personally don't know that answer.
Okay, so I would say for that one, please visit the Teams tech community and ask in the tech community, because we can track down the right answer. And yeah, as far as the Seahawks, I don't know, Ashwin. I think you're just gonna have to go on a wish and a prayer for that one.
Yeah, I already got some negative feedback from the audience or 49er fans in my previous sessions. Hopefully the ratings in this session are better. Maybe they're Seattle people, so hopefully.
So we have a few more minutes here, so we'll try and get into more of these others. These are great questions. Will the ability to post anonymously carry over to the new experience, or everyone will be named? Is there going to be any kind of a toggle to manage that setting?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and we've been talking to various different users of Q&A across the board, even people that use other competitor Q&As as well. And we first implemented anonymous, that toggle of ask anonymously, to promote questions and to promote people to not feel shy asking questions. But I think we need to be cognizant of the fact that we need to have it work both ways, because it can be abused. So that is top of our mind, to have a toggle. When this new experience comes out for Q&A, we will be releasing a way for you to be able to toggle that on and off, named only versus anonymous. So those are some of the toggles, and I think customization, both from how it looks as well as how you want the features to work, is forefront as we start this transition. As I mentioned at the beginning, as we bring the unification story to the forefront, it gives us a time to really look at some of the great things that we did within live events as well as various other outlets, as well as like things that we can improve on. And it gives us time to be able to build it in a way that works the best for you. And net, it's going to be a much better experience, as well as you'll get a lot more functionality out of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I would just add one more thing onto that. We're also cognizant of the fact that a lot of times when you use Teams live events as it exists today, one of the benefits is you are not everybody can see other participants' names and emails and stuff like you can in a meeting. So we'll also be thinking about that as we converge these experiences.
Yeah, and the other way around as well. Today in a live event, as a presenter, like right now, I don't know what's going on. Outside of the Q&A, I just don't feel the depth. It doesn't feel like last year when I stood up on stage and I could see everyone. I can't right now. And that's the matter of fact, as we shift to an online default world, how do we bring the various things that you take for granted when you're speaking on stage, when you're speaking in a room, how do we bring that over to a live event setting? How do we bring that over to a live event product? And those are some of the problems that we're thinking about right now. How do we create that depth so that I don't feel like I'm talking into the void? Again, it works both ways. I think as a presenter, I want to know what's happening on the other side. As attendees, we need to make sure data is anonymous, as well as there's some level of security and safety within a meeting or a live event.
So, so I think that we are out of time, and Sakinya can keep me honest there. But I would just like to say thank you, everybody, for joining us today. The time went very fast, and I'm sorry we didn't get to all of the questions. But please stay with us in the Teams Tech community. We hang out there and answer questions all the time. So if we missed anything, please catch us there. Yeah, thanks everyone.